I want you to imagine what it was like standing on the dock at Plantation Island Resort, Fiji in February 2020. I was waiting for my dreams to arrive. Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, was coming closer to me on the incoming ferry. When invited, she said an immediate yes to come to join us at the Ultimate Girls Week Away, a brand new concept in retreats. Standing in the hot sun, the singing of the Fijian staff nearby who were welcoming the new guests, it all seemed somewhat surreal and it all moved in slow motion. But then the ferry was there and the passengers were disembarking. Some of my team who were joining me from all around the world. Some were women who'd said yes to an unknown and new retreat concept that would in turn change their lives forever and carry them through what was to come. It was like an explosion of excitement, happiness, pride, and overwhelm, all in one amazing moment. And all I could think of was, it's begun. I'm who I was born to be and exactly where I'm meant to be at this immediate moment in time. But within this, there was one other thought: I must not cry. Watching Liz step off that boat, walk up the walkway and give me a huge hug is now engraved in my DNA. I get to see that photo, which is on the screensaver of my computer every day, and it reminds me of what I'm creating. I knew that this is what I'd been dreaming of and working to build. It was real. I watched women flourish by being together. Women like Jill, who's from a town of 200 in outback New South Wales and manages a farm with her husband. She stood on stage with Liz and shared some of her deepest inner thoughts in front of only about 170 other women. Or Silfath from Western Africa, who Liz wrote an Instagram post about and shared her story with the world. And then there's Betsy. Betsy's an American but was living in the Ukraine at the time. She wrote to us after the Ultimate Girls Week Away and said, I almost didn't go to the airport to get on the first of 3 planes. 27 hours was a long way to travel to possibly find disappointment at the end. Then there was that voice that said, just go. You can always sit on the beach. A beach beckoned and I listened and I went. What if I hadn't? I wouldn't have understood what I missed. So many stories, so many of women who said yes and were surprised at how they were gathered in by those around them, sharing an experience that created connection, understanding and knowledge. Knowledge that no matter what, they had each other's back and this connection was permanent. I've known since I was very little that I was here to do more than an everyday life, that I wanted to grow something big, something that was a legacy, something that brings us together. And this has never been so relevant as it is now. After being isolated because of COVID, we've been separated from families and friends by borders and distance and restrictions. We couldn't even come together with people near us for a meal, go for a walk or chat over coffee, all those things we were used to. I knew I was creating a space for women who were a little fearful on what they would find when they said yes to an unknown experience. A space where women who were burnt out and exhausted from giving to everybody else could come together and just be themselves. A place for us to rest, replenish and get what we need. My retreats are different and attract women who are up to big things. Retreats are a place where something shifts inside of you. They change lives. They just do. It's a special dose of magic. Something shifts inside and you go home with a different sort of knowing, a knowing that your life has changed and you just want more.